Double male lead plus infinite flow cool text plus NPC plus double strong double cleanliness 1v1. As soon as Lin Huai left the village, his hind legs were pulled into a thriller game. Welcome to the thriller game. Would you, who knows the truth, choose to believe in players or your own kind? Lin Huai smiled slightly and cut off the neck of the dungeon monster who wanted to kill him with a knife, taking care of the troublesome players as well. These days are easy and enjoyable, but it seems like there's an extra troublemaker around. Lin Huai's smile remained unchanged as he pressed his long knife against the man's shoulder, but he leaned inch by inch against the tip of the knife until he kissed his lips. Warning, 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 players are facing a fatal NPC attack. Lin Huai looked at the person across from him who had always been cold and had a flushed face, his eyes restrained, his thin lips flushed, as if he was about to faint. A question mark slowly popped up involuntarily. Ah. Am I? The NPCs in the dungeon are set for dungeon missions, just a string of virtual data, which is the consensus of players. In the game of life and death, who cares about a useless NPC who is just a human shield to block the sword when necessary? Later on, player circle. There is a crazy and strange person who always laughs and criticizes. Every day, he picks up a broken sword and kills anyone who doesn't like it. It's always scary. Strange circle. There is a player who pretends to be an NPC and laughs so shamelessly. He killed me several times, and I really want to slap him twice. Lin Huai. Is it possible that I am just a passerby who loves to laugh? Chapter 1. The village chief has not died, don't worry. You are listening at novel full.audio. Dong 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 dong. In the silent night, the dull knocking on the door was deliberately prolonged, mixed with the patter of rain. No one answered. Dong dong. Under the pale moonlight, the entire village was pitch black. Only a few crimson lanterns were hanging low under the eaves, swaying slightly with the sound of knocking on the door. The lantern flickered bright and dark, like blinking blood-red eyes. Cold and sticky malice flowed substantively on the young man below. The young man was wearing a simple shirt and black pants, as if he had come from a long distance without getting any rain or mud. He stood at the door with great manners, lightly tapping the door with his slender and fair hand. If you only look at his appearance and attire, you would never think that his other hand was holding a head covered in blood. That head was completely soaked, and blood slowly flowed down the floor into the decaying door. This is the head of an old man, with eyes completely swollen and protruding halfway. The connected blood vessels and dense bloodstains inside are clearly visible, exposed to the air. That pale, freckled face glared fiercely at Lin Huai, as if trying to peel him off and cramp him. However, it was still as quiet as death. Lin Huai let out a soft sigh and suddenly leaned his head back, then suddenly, dong, with a loud bang, the already shaky wooden door creaked uncontrollably. The old man's head slammed against the door, causing 2 dentures to fall out and his bloody face to become even more unbearable. Mixed with the red light of the lantern, the swollen and white head burst open, revealing the fishy red flesh and white bones inside. Squeezing. The door slowly opened a crack. Inside it was dark and only a pair of worn-out white shoes could be seen under the moonlight. Under the bright red light, the texture resembles 2 unevenly colored and poorly crafted paper shoes. Upon closer inspection, the foot landed only on the tip of its foot, gently suspended in the air without exerting any force. Lin Huai put away the gesture of wanting to shake his hand again, lifted his head up, bent his brows and eyes, and said helplessly in a warm voice. "Village chief, you forgot your head outside again. I'll bring it to you. Don't forget it next time." Lin Huai's expression was gentle, and his lips curved with a standard smile, as if carved with a ruler. His voice was gentle. The feeling it gives is warm and clean, and anyone who sees it will have a good impression. A small red mole in front of Peach Blossom adds a touch of unknown danger and affection to this harmless face. The already gentle face was blocked by a pair of black framed glasses, and suddenly became non-aggressive. The person known as the village chief did not speak. Under the bright blue sleeves, a pair of withered and pale hands reached out and quickly withdrew into the room after taking them over. If you look closely, you can see that the arm has been trembling slightly all along. From beginning to end, he did not take a step out of the door, but his hands reached a length that humans could not have. Don't forget again next time. If you accidentally lose your head, it's a big deal. The youth's tone is gentle, seemingly just a friendly reminder. As soon as the words fell, the door slammed shut. Not at all polite, even with unextinguished anger and fear. A few sawdust particles flew out of the door frame and brushed against Lin Huai's face. Lin Huai just shook his head helplessly and sighed softly, "I didn't say thank you, it seems that everyone still doesn't like me." The tone seemed extremely sad. As soon as the words fell, the door was opened again with a thud. The village chief was illuminated by a crimson lantern, his face drooping and almost turning into a flowing liquid. The head that Lin Huai had just lifted in his hand now returned straight to the neck of the village chief. However, the skin and flesh interface between the neck and head is extremely uneven, with the red skin and flesh faintly turning outward. It's like a fake head forcibly installed with rough craftsmanship. "Thank you." A rough and hoarse voice rang out, very reluctantly. But those crimson eyes were filled with resentment, staring fixedly at Lin Huai, who always maintained a proper smile. "It's okay, it's raining and it may get foggy tomorrow. The village chief should remind the villagers not to visit at night." The village chief's cold gaze became even more fierce, and even the red lantern stopped shaking, becoming terrifyingly quiet. Finally, Lin Huai heard a hoarse "good." The door slowly closed, emitting a series of sharp, scalp-numbing friction sounds. The door quieted down, there was no sound of breathing. Lin Huai's lips were still slightly stiff, his eyes fixed on the wooden door without blinking. After more than 10 minutes, Lin Huai finally withdrew his gaze and raised his hand to touch the lantern. The texture of a lantern is not cloth, not paper, it feels moist and smooth to the touch, and it also carries warmth. Very similar, some kind of special cortex. The lantern shook violently, as if resisting to the extreme. The surface of the lantern was constantly oozing thick blood, and the candles inside flickered incessantly, as if they were about to be extinguished in the next second. Lin Huai walked into the darkness, holding the slippery lantern rope in his hand as if he had not seen it at all. Da-da-da-da-da, accompanied by an off-key melody, the sound of footsteps gradually faded away. P.S. Cold exterior and extremely obsessed inner attack * gentle and elegant crazy criticism, Lu Chu had two identities. As a player, he was indifferent and pure, only obsessed with receiving and longing for the love of his father. He felt inferior and sad because of his father's dislike, and his indifference was just to make receiving less dislike his disguise. Being touched would be extremely enjoyable. On the side of the dungeon boss, he regards father as his only faith, regards father as supreme, extremely paranoid, crazily infatuated, emotionally sensitive, and believes that the only meaning of his existence is him. He knows that he is not liked, so he silently criticizes the little dog in tears, Lin Huai. With a gentle side towards others, he is actually indifferent and chaotic in his heart. As an NPC, he usually helps players and loses his memory. The rejection of attacks comes entirely from the sixth sense, but his physical habits make him approach attacks repeatedly. Sweet, 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 not sweet, free of charge. Occasionally sour, sweet, and even more delicious, the author is a frontline staff member of KOCP. Cops Rush. The proportion of dungeons passing through the plot is greater than the proportion of two people falling in love, so feel free to join the storyline party. This is the first time writing about infinite flow, and I hope readers like it. Omega. If there are any shortcomings, please feel free to point them out. The author, Glass Heart, doesn't scold me if you think it's not good enough. The author will listen carefully. Finally, can the little cuties who like this book give a 5-star review? Those who don't like this book should also give it a thumbs up. Don't give it a negative review, just quit. I hope everyone can find the book they like. O for Olo. Chapter 2. Simple Villagers. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 3. Dungeon Character. NPC. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 4. Lilith's Estate. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 5. Players Meet. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 6. Entering the Manor. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 7. You Can Ask the Butler. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 8. He Lives in the Same Room as Me. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 9. Facial Paralysis and Sexy Men. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 10. Contradictory Signals. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text.